From the Robbins Center on the campus of the University of Richmond, it is time for some women's basketball action today.
They are specifically good defensively. This 7-1 team, their only loss being to UConn out in Oregon, and this is a balanced team that wins with defense. 12 Blue Devils average over 10 minutes a game. Duke will press Richmond all 4 quarters, and they lead the Atlantic 10 in field goal percentage, three-point shooting percentage, free throw shooting, and they are second in scoring defense, giving up only 57 points a game.
And as Craig mentioned, it might be a challenge to score points today against the Blue Devil team that has held 5 of those 8 opponents to less than 50 points. We're about underway. Krista Vetta is our official. Bobby Ray, Kara Hunter will join her on the floor, and we'll do the jump ball again. And this time, the tap controlled by the Blue Devils, and they'll work to our left. That is Cheyenne Day-Wilson with the point position. ACC's Freshman of the Year last year, working off to the wing to Elizabeth Balogun. Spiders trying to be strong defensively today. There's a tip and a steal from Grace Townsend. And now Townsend leads the way to the offensive end. Richmond wants to get back quickly. See if they can get there before Duke sets up defensively. Budnick working down in on Brown. Spiders swing it to Townsend.
You can see the frenetic pace of this Duke defense already.
Townsend for Williams, 3 on the iron, no good. And the rebound to Day-Wilson, and Duke looks to run the floor. Quick lob into the corner down low. That's Celeste Taylor. The Devils' leading scorer at 11.1 points per game. An open 3 is short. And the rebound tip to Budnick. Now, with this strong ACC presence, it'll be interesting to see how this game is called by our officials today with some physicalness on the rebounding part of things. We know we're going to look for that from Duke from this side.
The Spiders have become a really good rebounding team this year. After struggling in that category last year, they now out-rebounding opponents by 7 boards a game, and they're really going to have to box out this very physical Blue Devil team.
Budnick tied up on that reach-in by Celeste Taylor.
Can do that. Meanwhile, Duke's first 2 possessions, a turnover and a missed shot.
Williams can't connect.
A lot of intensity on the floor here in the early minutes of the game, as you would imagine.
Down on the block, this is Taylor. Out front, Brown from the circle. Off the iron, no good. Spiders set up against this person-to-person defense. Budnick's shot is blocked by Balogun, and the Louisville transfer gets it to the other end of the floor for a Celeste Taylor bucket. Budnick outside to Hill. Shot clock at 7 as Hill spins in the lane. The lefty layup no good, but a whistle and a foul. Good move.
Basketball royalty will tell you more about her extraordinary career as we go on through this game.
Shooting 83% as a team from the line, and they'll need every one of those today. Here's a strong drive to the bucket. Hill reaches in, gets the tie-up.
Aaron Russell has hit a couple of important markers in his young career. 200 now Division I wins as the Spiders struggle to get it in. Richmond after beating William & Mary Thursday night down in Williamsburg.
Off the mid-post jumper from the guard position for the 5'5 junior from Midlothian. Now a Budnick 3 is flat off the iron. It ricochets out to Richardson. Feeds it ahead, and a Townsend steal.
That's her second steal of the game already. And she picked up a foul.
It's still a 2-1 contest.
Shot clock.
It's down to 3. And Krista Grava's jumper draws iron.
Points are going to be hard to come by for Richmond. This Blue Devil defense is just stifling, not just pressure up and down the court, but pressure in the half court as well. Good blocks.
And the Spiders did that so well last year with the block shots.
The Blue Devils are going to try to play through the post. Kennedy Brown at 6'6", a preseason candidate for Center of the Year in the NCAA. The Spiders, meanwhile, are going to have to get points on the perimeter. That's unusual. It happens from time to time.
Front court now, off to Hill on the wing. Still a 2-1 game. Almost 5 minutes into this first quarter. Here's Ryan's first three-pointer. It's a strong look, but it doesn't go down, and the rebound tipped over to Kennedy Brown of Duke.
Spiders now 0 of 3 from outside the arc, but that's okay. The Spiders, are, if they're going to win this game, they have got to hit from out there, and so they might as well keep taking it.
That's banked in from the free throw circle.
However, her first head coaching job with the Blue Devils.
Townsend misses inside. The rebound deflected to Duke, and they'll push up the right side of the floor. Here's Oliver into the lineup. Celeste Taylor inside to Brown. Easy bucket for Kennedy Brown.
Rebounding, Duke also dominating the glass. 9-3 rebounding thus far.
Lee Volker's also checked into the Duke lineup. Another Virginia native out of Purcellville.
There's Brown again.
And it's a jump hook good for Kennedy Brown.
It's going to have to figure out, to find a way to prevent her from getting the ball so close to the basket. Richmond does not have a player who can match up well against Kennedy Brown.
Budnick for three, a much-needed shot. Already indoctrinated into that from the programs from which they came.
Oregon State, Georgia, Tulane, all solid programs.
That is the result. So here is Day Wilson. Native of Toronto, takes a three-pointer out front and just rips the cord. She's got five. Duke had 11 players score against Northwestern in their last contest out. 66-50.
Some of the fire we may be seeing from the Blue Devils right now is because Coach Lawson, Amelia Christograva, a veteran, has transferred from Wagner. Her kind of veteran experience and savvy may be a help in this game.
Little drive and dish for a Ryan three.
Forced turnovers. They forced Richmond into 5 turnovers thus far and play through Kennedy Brown, 6'6" player for Duke, right there with the basketball. She scores again. That's 6 points.
To the line, down the lane. Nice running layup. It won't go down, and the rebound to De Jesus.
Don't get many opportunities to make a layup. I know it's so difficult. Make a great move, but somehow the Spiders have to find a way to finish when they get an open look.
Here's Brown inside, kicks it back out for a Taylor three from the corner, and that is a bucket for Taylor. Budnick has to go to work against Brown here. And had the ball just ripped away from her by Oliver. Oliver on the break. Dishes last minute for an easy layup for De Jesus. Have to settle in offensively, down 24-7. Townsend's drive, switch hands, missed the layup. And Vanessa de Jesus comes out with it. Kicks it ahead to Taylor.
Nothing easy at the basket.
Taylor stepping through the defense and laying it in from the right side.
Duke has only lost one game. It was to UConn. And, of course, UConn is good this year like they always are. And that was at one of those Phil Knight tournaments out in Oregon. And UConn really stuck it to him, though, with his 18-point win.
Well, Duke is reigning.
Just a good look.
Budnick couldn't connect on that with Brown flying out to meet her and the rebound of the Blue Devils. Duke has 14 rebounds now to Richmond's 8, and they'll convert at the other end. Shot clock's at 5. Townsend's got to go to work. Going to drive to the bucket. Little stutter step inside. Banked it in with the left hand. Lost it in front of the Richmond bench. Balogun there to recover. And now takes the jump shot across the rim. Picked up by Ashlon Jackson. Johnson, a freshman out of China, Texas. A McDonald's All-American nominee. And knocks down the three from long distance. 36.8% behind the arc. And Jackson, again, just a freshman.
This Blue Devil team right now is lighting it up from outside. This is not the Blue Devil team that played from the outside the first eight games of the season. Spiders have gotten a bad draw with Duke playing so well from outside the arc.
Well, and you can see as Ulstrom drives in tight. Nice move to the basket for Rachel Ulstrom. She was 7 of 11 from the floor.
Yeah, boy, the Spiders really needed Grace Townsend against William and Mary.
And another three from outside. Duke turns it over. Hill regains possession, going to do a reverse, and it's blocked. Pulled out of the air by Brown after the Balogun block.
I like Hill's aggressiveness anyway.
And Balogun converts at the other end. 3 minutes left in the first half. Down inside. Heidi spinning. And that's all white jerseys. Ulstrom with the rebound. Ulstrom to the front court. Trying to make her way into the lane. Nice move with the left hand. And another basket for 39-13, Duke ahead.
What a good-looking drive by the freshman Ulstrom.
Day Wilson kicks to Jackson in the corner, and another three from the freshman for Duke.
Robert, looking their athleticism and their height and their length and their defense just like that, hard to believe they're not a top 25 team.
Oliver to last year's team.
I think that's exactly right.
Nice three from Ryan on the wing.
Yeah, they're having a hard time stopping this Duke offense. You know, they were preparing to try to stop the Blue Devils inside, and instead the Blue Devils are doing that. You can make a mistake out there, but if you make 2 or 3 mistakes, you're going to come out of the game.
Here's the outlet, quickly, ahead to Oliver. Duke looks for more points from the mid-range, and there's the jumper from the midpoint. Opponent shooting 35% from the floor, 26% from three, that's tops in the A-10, and 56.6 points per game, which is second. Nice cut, good feed, and a bucket from Ryan there.
Exams, in many ways, maybe a little bit of a breather just to catch your breath before going to Longwood next week, or hosting Longwood here.
Actually. Townsend to Hill, and that Hill through the lane, trying to keep that dribble alive, working hard here. Spiders take the clock down to 10. Townsend with a dribble drive off the glass, and she'll go to the line. And Townsend with 5 points now. The foul was on Balogun, her first. And Balogun from the mid-post, and boy, they just don't miss.
She also told us, Robert, that sometimes she'll call those Power 5 coaches, and they'll say, Ashley, no thanks.
There's a nice shot from Katie Hill. Johnson was a point guard for Duke. Graduated in 2015. Is that shot no good from Budnick? And she was also the 2011 Richmond Times-Dispatch Player of the Year was Kalia Johnson, excuse me. Nice three-pointer from Taylor for Thomas Dale, a Chester native.
Kalia Johnson is very happy to be back in her home territory. Good look.
6 points for Budnick in the contest, and we're at 58-27 now, 7:03 left in the third.
Kalia Johnson, during her time as a Duke player,
right.
Boy,
Kennedy
they're going
Brown.
back and forth during that time, and she still has nice play, again, by Katie Hill. I think that might have been why we saw that timeout get called, as the Spiders have had a pretty good third quarter here. Still a 30-point game, but the Spiders have looked good.
Townsend open for three. And Grace Townsend now has 8. And Richmond down to 60-32 advantage. Brown the putback off the miss. Count the bucket. Hill beats the pressure. Pull-up jumper right in the lane. Won't go down. And the rebound to Oliver. Oliver quickly to the front court. Open three for De Jesus. Yeah, that's good. Boy, De Jesus. And now Ryan trying to answer at the other end. It's a little short. Oliver out with it in a hurry. Kick it ahead to De Jesus, who feeds Oliver underneath around Ryan for 2.
The rest of the players can handle the ball just fine, but they're not great ball handlers in the way that Grace Townsend is, and in the way that many Blue Devils are.
And there's De Jesus. Well, you wouldn't know that Duke had not been a good three-point shooting team coming into today.
It is unbelievable. They're hitting 8 of 11 from 3.
So it's 9 of 12 now. Yeah, you have to see how you evaluate this one, because this is just one of those games that you have to put into a different perspective.
Yeah, I think it falls into a different category. I mean, we knew Duke would be good. I mean, Coach Russell. Coach Russell did not expect this, right? I mean, for the Richmond basketball program and the coaching staff.
Townsend's shot is blocked by Jackson. Ball loose at midcourt. Jackson picks it up.
But I think some of what we're seeing right now is, Thursday night, I read Coach Lawson's comments about her team's performance against Northwestern Thursday night. 3-point land. She's really fought in there.
That Katie Hill layup wouldn't go down. Heidi feeds the fast break ahead. And Jackson's left-hand layup is good. He takes the inbound pass. Trying to streak ahead. Lost it at midcourt. De Jesus picks it up. And dished it nicely for the layup from Richardson. Richardson now. Coach Lawson mentioned about this defensive presence. There's a block shot. It's because they have so many players, they can continue to play at this frenetic pace. And there's a bucket as the horn sounds.
Yeah, I know when we talked about this already in the broadcast. Nice move by Kayla Williams.
That's her first. as has Shea Boland. And Townsend trying to drive around Boland, misses. The rebound to Day Wilson, who's into the front court with a baseline feed and a reverse layup nicely done from Ashlon Jackson.
You have got to beat them as a team. There have been signs of that, but not as much of it.
Well, Budnick's layup wouldn't stay down. Addie Budnick has had back-to-back 16-point and 7 rebound games, but today held to 6 points against this Duke squad. Meanwhile, Cable for 3 at the other end, and she gets into the act as well.
First one she's hit. I mean, that's the kind of offensive scoring that Duke has produced. Everybody on that Duke team ought to shoot a 3 in this game, and it'll go in.
Spiders have dropped into a zone. Cable shooting over it, and the rebound to Williams. Into the front court, Townsend. Williams will try to 3 out front. That's good from Kayla Williams. They have played, that's a total transformation to that program as well. With their new head coach and bringing in a number of transfers. Jumper along the baselines.
Virginia at Charlottesville last year.
Ulstrom with a nice move under the bucket and the reverse layup. It's like free agency all of a sudden.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed, just kind of sitting here watching this game and being a part of the game before the, that was a travel. But that's okay.
Duke has the ball nonetheless. And Jesus with the follow. That's going to equal her career high at 17.
Whoa.
But again, the Spiders lead the A-10 in defensive statistics.
Prepare for teams that don't have the same level of talent and athleticism down the road.
There's a bucket inside from one of the Duke substitutions just into the game. That's Bo Schaefer, a graduate student from Colorado.
It also means Duke got to 100, which is one of the reasons why their bench enjoyed that.
Last time they got to 100, an opponent did, was back in 1999, I believe it was, against JMU. Well, Richmond almost got to the 50-point mark, which might be considered an accomplishment against this Duke squad because now they've held 6 of the 9 opponents under 50. And the Spiders move on, falling here today by the margin of 100 to 49.